Welcome to the People's Sports Podcast. I'm Charlotte Wilder. He's Mark Titus. Mark, long time no see, my friend. How you doing?
Yeah, good to see you again, Charlotte. It's been about, 12 hours?
Seriously, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
How are you feeling this Monday?
I'm feeling good. I took a long shower. I had to get all the Wisconsin off of my skin. All wearing Badger stuff on my body for that long, it was starting to like seep into my pores and all that. So we had to do a very extensive cleansing, a very extensive hosing down. Had to enter all the texts and phone calls from all the Ohio State people in my life that are like, "What the hell is going on? Are you being held hostage? Why are you cheering
Blink
so hard
twice
for Wisconsin?"
if you're okay.
Yeah. And I was like, guys, it's a bit, it's a joke, obviously. But no, I'm glad they did that because like I've used this phrase before on the show. I was working myself into a shoot. Like I was doing the bit where I'm a Wisconsin fan. That's kind of the conceit of our road shows. We're going to go from school to school. I'm going to fully immerse myself in the culture of that school. And I'm going to live, I'm going to cosplay, I guess you could say. I'm going to role play as a diehard fan of these schools. And initially I was like, this is hilarious. Look at me. I'm having fun in Madison. This is a conference rival of the school I went to. How funny is this? This is hilarious. Ha 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 ha. And then somewhere around like halftime of the football game.
No, I'm going to stop you right there because I saw it happen.
Yeah.
I saw the moment that you were, continue, keep explaining to the people, and then I'm going to tell you the time that I saw it happen.
Sometime around halftime of the football game when the game was horrible, it was 0-0, and I found myself like really upset at like how Wisconsin was playing and how like bad the game was. And I looked down and I was wearing the hockey jersey that said Wisconsin and I had a Wisconsin hat on. I was like, something's happened here. This is too much. I need to be extracted from this situation. And thankfully,
I saw the exact moment. We get into the stand. So I'm assuming a lot of people saw what we're doing because if you listen to this, ostensibly you follow us on social media, and we were all over the place. You know, we went to Madison, we went to Mickey's Dairy Bar, we went to State Street Brats, we tailgated. Well, we kind of tailgated. We went to the Big Noon kickoff set. We were on the field. We rode the Bucky wagon onto the field. We did jump around. We did it all. And after we sort of did the morning stuff, we went to our seats, which were just sort of normal seats. And we sat down and we'd been high energy. We'd been having the time of our lives. And then something came over Mark. Like it wasn't a good game. It was 0-0. Almost was it the entire half or
the whole first half?
First half 0-0.
First Big Ten football game since 2014. Shout out to @CFB on Fox for this little nugget. First Big Ten football game since 2014 to be 0-0 at halftime.
I mean, that's just, it was,
we were there
you
for
kept, you at first, you know, when it was gray skies and you're like, this is Big Ten football, this is Big Ten skies, and it was fun and funny. And then there was a certain point where I just saw like your whole face change, your whole demeanor changed, the energy left your body. You were mad at Wisconsin and you were getting these texts from people being like, what are you doing from Ohio State? And you were like, oh, something
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. Like, I thought I was celebrating Big Ten football, but as it turns out, I don't love Big Ten football. I love Ohio State football.
Yeah. Yes.
And there is a difference because Ohio State scores points, Charlotte. Ohio State knows where the end zone is located on the field. And apparently Penn State and Wisconsin do not know that. No, we had a great time. I just wanted to say that out of the gate, that I have fully cleansed myself. So if you're a Buckeye who follows our show or follows me or whatever, you thought I was lost, I'm happy to report I'm not. And I'm also happy to report
he's found.
I'm also happy to report we're going to Columbus this week. So
yes, we are.
I will be back in a big way.
How excited are you?
Oh my God. It is. I mean, I'm excited for like, because I want to say this too, that part of what made Madison so fun for me, I realized, was that I got sucked into all the same things that Wisconsin fans were excited about, which is that there haven't been fans in these football stadiums for so long. We haven't been tailgating, and I had people like asking me like, well, give me the report of Madison. Like, now that you're off camera, now that you know you don't have to ham it up and pretend like you love the place. Like, did you actually have a good time? And I was like, I did. I had the time of my life, and I was blown away at how, because I've heard a lot about how great Madison is. Being a Big Ten guy, you hear a lot about it. And every time I go there, though, it's in the dead of winter for basketball, and I'm like, this place sucks. It's freezing. What is so special about this? So being able to experience that was awesome. But I will say, Charlotte, like, at least 10% of what made it so awesome, I think, is we could have been anywhere in the world at a football game.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? So I had that realization. Now I'm applying it to this week in the shoe. This is the first game at Ohio Stadium because Ohio State opened up on the road at Minnesota. And we get to kind of do all of that again with this crowd, except this crowd is my people. This is my school. And I'm just like, the anticipation is bubbling over. I'm so excited. We're playing a team that the last time we played them, we won the national title. It was the national title game.
No way. Really? I didn't know that. The last time we played Oregon was the national title.
Yeah. We beat them for a national championship. So all of that is like starting to, I'll just put it this way. I woke up this morning, grabbed my phone. I'm still laying in bed and I was watching the Ohio State marching band doing Script Ohio at a random game however many years ago. I'm just like watching that on YouTube, getting chills. That's how I woke up this morning. Yeah.
You know, I have to tell you that I think something I was sort of, you know, a lot of what I did in Madison was being, you know, I hung out with the marching band, like we ate the food and I was watching the videos back because we didn't really have time to even see what got put out on social or on YouTube while we were doing it. Cause it was very much nonstop. I mean, from Thursday, we landed Wednesday night. From Thursday morning to Saturday at 3, we were just nonstop experiencing things. And I was watching it back and I was watching myself, which is a horrible experience in general, but I was like, oh my God, this was pure joy. Like I was truly joyful and I wasn't acting. There was not a single part of that. You know how sometimes you'll ham stuff up for the camera or it was such a truly delightful experience being around people who loved something so much. And there was a moment where, you know, you had like you watching these things or being there and knowing that you're going to your school, your people, your family in Ohio to experience that for yourself. I had this moment in Madison where I think I've always been kind of jealous of people who had a huge college football experience because or went to a school where you can go back and really experience that. And I had that in different ways in college, but it wasn't this sort of very communal statewide thing. And you had gone to, I think you went to get either a hot dog or go to the bathroom, and I was like, I'm staying to watch. I was like, I'm staying to watch the band for halftime because I had hung out with the band and felt personally invested. And they played Varsity, which is the alma mater, the song of Wisconsin. And there were two. I was standing in the aisle where our seats were, which were pretty high up, and it was pretty sparse. Not sparse, but like it wasn't a crush of people. And I looked over and there was this old couple with their arms around each other, swaying back and forth, singing the song. And I just had I got chills. I was like, oh, I get it. I was like, I get it. When you go to a place, I felt like because I don't know what it's like for myself, I looked at someone and I felt it momentarily. And I was like, this is an extremely powerful thing. Like college football, you can make jokes about it. You can be like, oh, you know, people are obsessed with college football. But when it's your home and you went there and your family probably has connections, or if they don't, they do now because of you. It's a very like meaningful experience.
Yes.
It was true. I was like, oh my God, I get it. I had this moment.
This is you're exactly right. This is why when I was getting recruited to play basketball coming out of high school by a bunch of tiny schools, I basically told all the tiny schools I'm not interested because I was raised on this. This is what I was not so much the football, more on the basketball side because I grew up in Indiana where if you go to IU and Purdue football games, you're like, okay, all right.
Hey, this year, baby, this year, I don't know. IU football's back.
Well, they were for about 3 minutes and then Iowa smoked them. But anyway,
we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that. There's still that was one game.
There's just one game. Come on.
But that was like I grew up in that, and mine was on the basketball side, but the point still applied that like the Big Ten is I mean not so much IU Purdue because the state is split, but like you brought up the point about Wisconsin, like so many people go to these games that didn't go to Wisconsin, they didn't go to university because for a lot of people, the college program, and especially when it's a situation like a Wisconsin or like an Ohio State, where like there's the one school, the one Big Ten school that just dominates everything in the state. It's less about the university. It's more about like the entire state pride. College football is the equivalent of like the Euro that we were taught, you know, when Euro 2020 happened and we were watching that and talking about, we talked about that a little bit. And England and Italy and all these countries, it's like, we're all kind of European and we all kind of are close to each other. But when it comes time to compete, like this is the one thing we can all rally behind. That's kind of what college football is. And it becomes bigger than just the game and all that. And unless you kind of experience it for yourself, it's hard to fully wrap your mind around. I think you can be told it. You can be told that football is religion in the South and the Midwest and these sorts of things. But until you see it or until you experience it, you don't fully get it. And I don't know. That's the joy. That's the joy of it all.
Yes.
It's like it's not about that's what drives me crazy, especially as I talk about college basketball, my other show I do, where every so often you can catch me on the right day, and I do it on this show sometimes, where I'll lose my mind about like NBA people who like look down their nose at college sports and have this attitude of like, you guys realize that the NBA players are better. You guys realize that like professional basketball is like better than college. And I'm like, yeah, no dude, we're not stupid. Like, I know the players are better. It's not about like just the top talent. It's about like everything else along with the like. There's so much that goes into it about, and because of that, there's a connection that is so much stronger with college sports than any professional. But NFL, I think, can come close. I think the NFL can get there sometimes in ways, but there's nothing beats college sports. That's why I love it. No matter how old I get, no matter like. You know, there are times when I'm watching college football or basketball and I'm like, damn, these guys just look younger and younger every single year. And I feel so, but there's something that just keeps bringing you back. And it's less to do with like my desire to watch 19-year-olds play sports. And it's more to do with like the culture I've been raised in and the environment and the feeling of like something bigger than yourself or your family even. It's like this massive community that just overtakes you. And I don't know, so to be a part of that, and I did genuinely enjoy that about Wisconsin. And you know, for a moment in time I felt like a transplant or a fake Wisconsin, you know, like I felt for a moment in time I was like, let's go Badgers. And then it was 0-0 at halftime and I was like, all right, this is
you're like, I'm out. No, I mean, I think that part of it, you know, I did this big college football story in 2019, the last time we could go to games. I went to Clemson, I went to Florida, and I went to Ohio State. And I got a taste of that. But I think there was actually something about cosplaying as a Wisconsin fan. I mean, I'm wearing these insane striped overalls, and I'm really in it. You know, like our whole goal was to be like experience Madison, and I think because of that, immersing ourselves in it, I felt it in a different way. I was like, whoa, you know, it sort of caught me off guard. I also want to say a lot of people have asked me about the overalls. Which is great. People seem to love them. But every single person, my family, my friends, people on the internet have been like, one strap, huh? And I want everyone to know the backstory behind that, because I went to the bookstore on Friday, I guess, before we did the live show, and I bought 2 pairs of overalls because we weren't sure what size would fit and didn't have time to try them on. I put them on in the morning. I have both strapped, come down, we get some coffee, we're heading off, we park, we hit campus, we start walking, and it is immediately clear to all of us that if you wear these overalls, you know, we pass kids wearing them, every single person, whether you're a girl with a crop top underneath or a, you know, dude who works out clearly too much with no shirt underneath, is wearing one strap. And I turned to Mark and I turned to Kristen, our producer, and I was like, oh God, I don't know what to do. I was like, I don't think I can do one strap. So I take one strap off and I was like, I'm trying too hard. This looks ridiculous. And I put it back on. We passed a few more people and you guys are like, I don't know. I think if you wear both, you're a massive loser. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And then like, I'm walking behind you guys turn around and I've got only one strap. And you were like, you're doing it. Yeah. She's a one-strap gal. And that's how it happened. Because I have had several people be like, why were you only wearing one strap? And it's because that's what the kids do, folks.
But I think you explaining it, if I'm being completely honest, this was the mistake you made, is that you gave it even more than 5 seconds of thought. And I think once you do that,
me? Have you met me?
I know, but like, I think
once
you do that, I think people can smell that, and I think that's why everyone's hitting you up like, one strap, huh? Because they could smell, they could just see. Like if you throw it on it, because I think that's what the cool kids actually do, is they just throw it on, they don't even care. They like if you said one strap to them, they're like, was it one strap? I don't know, I have no idea. And I think you were thinking about it, Charlotte, and people can read that.
But
they can read that. They can smell that.
Doesn't that feel like on brand though for a 32-year-old woman wearing striped overalls? Like, of course I thought about whether you wear. No,
I know the feeling. I do this with my hair because I've grown my hair out, and like the idea is like guys with long hair, they just don't care, and they're it's long hair don't care, baby, and you're just like let it fly. And really, what I do is I just stare in front of the mirror, and I'm just like, why will that hair not? And I overthink it. And I think that comes through as well. That like I'm
we're just
I'm
we're
giving
doing
way
our
too much
best,
thought
Mark.
to this. Yeah,
We're doing our best.
no. What'd you do with the overalls? You still have them? You keeping them? What's the story there?
Wish you hadn't
Okay.
asked
Oh,
me
we're moving
that.
on.
Yeah, we're moving on. Okay, before we move on to
Dunked them in a trash can. You just
I-
boom at the airport
left
on the
them.
way out.
At 6 a.m., leaving on Sunday morning, we've slept maybe 5 hours at most for the past 3 nights. I looked at the overalls that wouldn't fit in my suitcase, and I was like, sayonara, baby.
So we meet again.
Yeah. Before we move on to a few other sports things and some emails here, what is one thing that people didn't see on camera that you would like the people to know, or that you think we should give a little behind the scenes on?
Great question.
Because I know mine after you go.
Okay. I would say we didn't spend a lot of time at State Street, but I guess like that's kind of like the hard part about this, and I think this is gonna be a problem moving forward as we're going on these tours, is that every college campus is sort of the same. We talked about this before with the when we went to the diner and we had the big scrambler or whatever. It was awesome, but it was also like this is gonna sound like I'm a hater. I'm not, but every college campus kind of has a greasy spoon diner. Every college campus has a grassy area like Bascom Hill, is that what I think it was at Wisconsin, where it looks beautiful. Every like there's certain beats that like maybe not every, but a lot of them have. So like State Street, for example, where all the bars are in Madison, very, very cool. It was awesome. But then like some small part of me is like, I guess like like if you're trying to explain what State Street was to people, they'd be like, yeah, we had that at my college too. I don't get it. It's just a strip of bars. But there was something cool about it because it was compact and it was like right there on campus, and I don't know. So I guess we didn't really spend a lot of time like highlighting the beer I was throwing back, the Dos Equis that I was hammering on State Street. I guess the frats on the
talk about
lake, that blew my mind. They got this Lake Mendota. The
Women Dota, if you're trying to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say the sororities are not on the sororities are not on Lake Mendota. They're on Lake Women Dota. But all the frats, apparently, I was told, are on this lake, and they all have docks that lead up to like the frat houses. Like if you don't know, like a lot of houses on lakes, they have their little dock where you could dock a boat. They didn't seem to really have boats, but I don't think they needed them. I think like the idea, what I was told is that like the move in the summer, or in the spring, fall, definitely not in the winter. Obviously, it's frozen over. Right. You just kind of float from dock to dock and just go to frat to like. And I'm trying to conceptualize this, and I'm like, this is stupid. It feels like, I mean, I'm only using this reference because I'm making my way through the OC right now, but it feels like I felt when I was in high school, and girls in high school would like talk about the OC, or I'd see clips of the OC, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like that's not like people in California don't go to the beach.
They go to high school outside.
They go to high school outside. They can't do that. Get out of here. I'm like getting mad. I'm like, that's not true. And that's how I'm being told about these frats. They're like, yeah, so our frats are on the lake, and we just kind of like chill on the lake, and like you'll see sometimes guys will just hang out on the docks, like frat dudes. You'll just go by and they're just hanging out and drinking beer on the docks, and I was like, that makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick that people are having more fun than me. I don't like it.
I know.
So that scene, I kind of we didn't really put in the thing. I don't think we didn't really talk about that much, but
yeah, no, I love that. It reminded me of the one thing we had at Colby was a lot of people had houses. If they lived off campus, it's in this it's a lakey region up there in the middle of Maine, and they had, houses with these docks and canoes, and for 2 months that it wasn't snowing, it was real fun. But then it was snowing, and you were like, why are we here? The one thing that I wanted to tell people about was our experience on the Bucky Wagon.
Yeah.
Because there is a little old fire truck that the mascot and the cheerleaders ride out on. And somehow we were lucky enough to be put on this thing. I mean, it was sort of a whirlwind. They just like grabbed us. They were like, get on the Bucky Wagon. And we'd been very excited about this. Mark, I would tell people we were going on the Bucky Wagon, and Mark was like, don't jinx it. If you tell people, it's not going to happen.
I thought you were going to jinx it, yeah.
Somehow it happened. Also, I think it was something they're bringing back. It was an old tradition that's being resurrected because no one that we told about the Bucky Wagon knew what the Bucky Wagon was.
Nobody had any idea.
So Mark and I get on, and there are these two older gentlemen on the Bucky wagon. And they're clearly, it's sort of like an honor to be on this thing, or like you hold the flag that you then give to the cheerleaders. And one of them, he had a thick Irish accent. And
he was the dean of engineering.
Yes.
The dean of engineering at the University of Wisconsin, yeah.
And you could tell, like, this was a moment I wish we actually had on camera. We wouldn't have, I wouldn't ever want to embarrass him in any way, because this was to make fun of us, because we get on this thing. I'm dressed in candy striped overalls. Mark's wearing a Wisconsin hockey sweater. He looks at us and he's like, who are you and why are you here? And you could see the wheels turning. He's like, I had to get a PhD and earn tenure to get on this stupid fire truck. And these idiots from Fox Sports just like hop right on. And it was very funny trying to explain to him what we were and who we were, because we didn't even know how to explain what we were doing. And then all of a sudden the sirens start going. We just shoot out onto the field. It was a great moment.
Yeah, the Bucky wagon was funny. That was funny just to be, yeah, you're right. That is, we did get a little bit of that of like, because Wisconsin rolled out the red carpet for us, but every so often there was some person that was like, what is happening? Why are you here? Who are you?
We're like, I actually don't know how to explain that to you.
Yeah, I don't know where to. But we had a great time. Thank you to everyone at Madison. Thank you to the university, and they were very welcoming, and it was great. And I think everyone who kind of knew me or whatever, I don't know how to like. I could see a lot of people that would come up and talk to me knew that I was pandering Charlotte. They knew that I was a Buckeye, and like I didn't. They knew the deal, and they went along with it. And I want to thank those people for not just
they were very gracious,
yelling at me. They were very gracious. They were like, I get it, but at the same time, welcome to Wisconsin. Let's have some fun. So
I also want to say one shout out to the fourth quarter. I'm walking down the sideline and I start yawning, like the biggest yawn of all time. And someone in the crowd stands up from like 20 rows back and yells, "Charlotte, wake up!" And I would just want to say shout out whoever you were to that guy.
Yeah. Tell your team to wake up, dude. What the hell? I mean, blame Charlotte for. Maybe
anyway,
I would wake up if you hit more than 7 points on the board. And are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That was such a great first game to be back. Like that was like a great welcome back to Big Ten football. It's like you thought you missed Big Ten football fans. You thought you missed being in the stadium for Big Ten football. Here you go. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right. This is
how many fumbles do you want this week, Wisconsin? We are not. We're gonna just have the Tuesday podcast this fall while we're doing this. So I was like, is there anything in the world of sports we want to talk about? Because I realized I didn't know really what was going on, except because we were so immersed in it. And I saw the one thing that I was like, oh, okay, that's the thing is, the Texans named Tyrod Taylor the starter.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's a thing that's not college football related.
I just Googled sports.
No, what came up?
Just the word sports. Keep your eye on the balls. How MLB squashed its fake memorabilia problem. That's an article that Sports Illustrated just wrote. So okay, apparently... Good. Thank you.
Right.
Very, very, very important. Let's see here. Brian Kelly said he's going to execute his team. That's okay. So apparently Brian Kelly says I'm going to execute my team because they didn't execute, and people got very mad. And then he was like, "I'm clearly making a joke," and it was just this. That was the most perfect storm of sports media. Yeah. Ever. That was I was also like, how do you think he's actually he's not actually gonna kill his player? No, I mean I guess if I'm being devil's advocate in this, Brian the messenger, I guess if we're talking about, I don't know, never mind. It's not a great look. It's not a great look given Brian Kelly's past. No, I'm being serious. When he said that, I was like, my God, dude. Any other coach, maybe, but Brian Kelly, I'm not even trying to make a joke. I was seriously, yikes. No, I didn't put that together, and now I. Yeah, but obviously, I mean, it was, and also it's a great lesson for everybody that if you're gonna tell a joke like that, don't butcher it. Right. I think also, if his delivery is better, he shouldn't have done it. Yeah, he was channeling John McKay, the Buccaneers coach, who I when he said it, I will be honest, I was watching it when he said it, I knew the reference because I remember that quote from John McKay back in the day. It's it's one of those things that once you're told about it, like, I don't know, just like stuck with me. I was like, that's pretty funny, that's clever. And then I remember that for whatever. So I knew what he was saying when he said it. But what made John McKay so funny was that he was asked it, Charlotte. Like, someone said, how do you feel about your team's execution? And then he said very quickly, I'm in favor of it. And that makes it funny. Brian Kelly like brought it up out of nowhere. He was like, Coach, what about the game? And he's like, I'd like to execute my players, if you know what I mean. You're like, what? What? No one prompted that, Coach. Like, that came out of nowhere.
That's like it's almost explaining the joke too.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you say I'm in favor of it, that's like a play on words. Brian Kelly tried to do a pun to himself.
No, what he did was he walked into a room and he's like, it smells like Up Dog in here. What's Up Dog? That's what he said, you know? You're like, no, dude, we need the set. Someone else has to do the setup so you can.
Right, like, abort. No,
you can't
we're not doing
the setup and the joke itself. Come on.
Oh, my God.
So that happened. Let's see what else has happened. Oh, the Big 12 is adding teams. That's interesting.
Okay.
Well,
Who are
the
they
Big 12
adding?
might not be dead yet.
right.
UCF, Houston, BYU, and Cincinnati. Okay.
All
that
right.
has my attention. Dogs welcome at Louisville Bats game. Maybe that's a story that interests you. Let's hear. What's this?
Louisville
3 hours ago. There's
Bats.
a picture of 2 dogs on this article. I'm on Spectrum News 1 in Louisville, Kentucky. The Louisville Bats are going to the dogs. The Bats and the Kentucky Humane Society are welcoming fans and their pooches to come to Louisville Slugger Field Tuesday, September 7th for Dog Day at the park.
Oh, hell yeah.
Tickets are
Let's go.
$9 a person and $3 per pooch.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my God, you get a ticket, a little doggy ticket?
Because proceeds from the dog tickets will benefit the Kentucky Humane Society. Huh. There you go.
We
That's
love
happening.
that. Would you take Moses to a baseball game?
I've taken him to a soccer game before. It was fun. Yeah, we went to a Columbus Crew. The Crew did that a few years ago.
Did he have a
And
good time?
Yeah, it was all. I couldn't watch a second of the game though. That sucked because I was just always dealing with Moses, and but it makes it. It was
The thing
fun.
about dogs at sports games, though, is that you have to have a dog who could go to a sports game.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take
Yeah.
a neurotic dog to a sport.
Right.
You can, as a neurotic person, sometimes I have trouble going to sports games. So imagine a neurotic dog who can't verbalize their emotions
There's
or
the
have a beer.
Yeah, I know. The Washington Post wrote a think piece on Bishop Sycamore. It looks like Bishop Sycamore shows the excess of the high school sports. Let me click on the high school. Bishop Sycamore is the punchline, but an out of control prep sports industry is the joke. By Kevin Blackistone. How about that? And then I'm not going to read it, but I'm sure it's like, yeah. While all of you are laughing, it's actually kind of serious. What's going on here?
And it's like, yeah, that's literally how it works with anything in this world. You're laughing, but there's an issue with it. And we're like, yeah, I don't really know how to process that, so I'm laughing.
The headline of like every sports article could just as easily be, do you think this is funny? Because I have news for you. Like, that should be the headline.
No, it should be, do you think
Are you
this
having
is funny?
fun?
You're a horrible person.
Are you having fun? Here's why you're wrong.
Yeah. Oh, man. Is there anything else?
Oh, Brazil-Argentina match stopped when health officials stormed the field. I don't know if that's fun.
That doesn't
That's
sound fun or
are you
funny.
Are you having fun? Sorry, here's why you're wrong. Yeah, that's about all right. That's about all. A lot of college football stuff. College football is the story in sports, I think. College football
It is.
Yeah.
The one thing I liked was that Ed Ogeron said that Oregon made shirts after apparently Ogeron said he called them Sissy Blue. Have you heard this story?
No, it was there's a video of it. He's walking down the ramp coming in, and a UCLA
Yeah, with the fan.
Fan's heckling him, and he says, "Come on down here with your Sissy Blue shirt." Like,
Yeah,
basically saying, "I'll beat your ass." Like, come down here, I'll beat your ass. And then UCLA beat his ass.
And then they made T-shirts that say Sissy Blue on them.
Oh, really?
UCLA has
That's great.
Jordan brand T-shirts that say Sissy Blue, and I was like, all right, I respect
UCLA is this is a very cool time in college sports if you're someone who's remembers the time when UCLA didn't suck at everything, because UCLA is about to explode. And I don't say that because I live in LA and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I say that because they've had this they signed they signed this stupid deal with Under Armour because Under Armour gave them a dump truck of money.
Yeah.
And then it kind of backfired in terms of recruiting and all sorts of other stuff that, like, it kind of sunk their program weirdly. Even though it gave them a bunch of money, like, they sucked at basketball, and they had a few, like, Lonzo Ball made them interesting for a second, but whatever. Point is, they're now with Jordan Brand, Charlotte, which is like the only brand like Jordan and Nike-ish, but Jordan is the peak that resonates with kids. Like Jordan, being a Jordan brand school is just like cha-ching.
All you have to say is we're a Jordan brand school, and everyone's like, where do I sign?
Yes.
Recruit me.
UCLA basketball just went to the Final Four. They're bringing back basically their entire team. They will be a top 3 team to start the college basketball season. Chip Kelly has been at UCLA long enough now that he's like starting to get his system in place, and they're going to be good. He's
starting to reap what he's sowed.
The name, image, likeness stuff going on in college sports is going to be just perfect for a school located in Los Angeles, California.
They're going to be sponsored by TikTok houses. Yes,
all these players are going to be like the stars have aligned for UCLA, and it's going to be very interesting moving forward. So, but that's my way of saying basically like UCLA is feeling itself in a big way right now.
Yes.
In a huge way.
You can only make that shirt if you're feeling good. Yes. You can't make a sissy blue shirt if you're about to suck at everything.
They beat one ranked team and they're like, we've won the national championship. And and like the basketball program thinks that they are like the heavy favorites to win the they are not. They're one of the favorites, but like the UCLA sports is feeling itself in a big way. And as a guy that lives in LA, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. This will be fun.
I love it. I love it.
So anyway, I don't know what else is going on. That's about it.
I think we should do a few emails because we do have a few. We're going to need you guys to step it up because I know that we didn't have a show last week and we're figuring out how to, make all this work and timing in terms of being on the road. But we're going to need some fans to email us questions, hit us up about any Ohio State stuff. Let us know any of your thoughts on how we performed in Madison. Talk to us about Sissy Blue. Just reach out because we have a few here. Jacob Court wrote to us, and the subject line is mascot games, and this is pretty funny. He says, I went to an FCS football school in the Midwest, and my school treated the mascot exactly like you talked about. To make it a little weirder, the people associated with the mascot not only protected the identities of who played the mascot, but treated the mascot like it was a real person. Thought that was a little much. Second, talking about mascot games, because for context, if you didn't listen to the episode where we talked about this, we said we think that there should be a mascot bowl or mascots.
A football game. Like you can play on the NCAA football games back in the day. You could like play with the mascots.
Yes.
Well, I want that to be a reality. I want the mascots to actually get out there and play each other. Yeah.
So this guy says, I once went to a Vikings game where some local Pee Wee football players got to play a short game on the field at halftime, and they played against a team of local mascots for some reason. The reason I remember this so vividly is that the University of Minnesota mascot, Goldie, absolutely trucked one of the kids.
That's so good.
And then celebrated like he was Adrian Peterson scoring a touchdown. An entire stadium of local Minnesotans booed the mascot so hard, but he was so defiant, it was hilarious.
That's so good. That's what you have to do. I think if you're a mascot,
the image.
I think that's what you have to do. If I was a guy that got to be a mascot, I would definitely just pull stunts like that. I've talked to you about this before, but there's the image that keeps coming back. It's not beating up kids, but the Ohio University Bobcats played in Ohio Stadium maybe 10 years ago, I want to say. And the Ohio Bobcat was at the game. And when Brutus Buckeye came on the field, the Bobcat just like went nuts and ran like it was a real Bobcat, like it was like a rabid Bobcat. The Bobcat just runs over and tackles Brutus and starts punching Brutus in the head. And it's one of the funniest things. Like you can go find the clip on YouTube. It is so stupid and funny, but like that guy's a legend. You know, the guy that did that is like, he probably like tore his rotator cuff high-fiving everybody like afterwards. I think those are the mascots I love is mascot fights, mascots that if you're going to play against a bunch of little kids, what are you supposed to do? Like trip over your own feet and pretend like like, come on.
No, you clothesline all of them immediately. Yeah. That's the only answer. I'm
gonna be that way as an uncle, by the way. I got two little nephews who are too young to like play sports against right now. But like fast forward 5-10 years, I'm dunking them. I'm not like gonna take it easy on them. Are you kidding me?
No, God no.
No, and I think the mascots should do the same. That's hilarious. That's so
really
good.
It's really
Goldie
good.
Just
great
trucking
visual.
Kids.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. All right, Bob Thompson wrote in. He's the guy who wrote our theme song for the podcast, not the one we use, but he wrote a 90s sitcom-esque theme song for us.
Yeah.
And he said, I normally hate it when people tell their dreams, but I just had to let you know this one. And I'm going to read it because this is actually, it just sounded like something that had actually happened and less of a dream. He says, I started walking toward, he said, walking into an IU game, this is the dream. When I step into an establishment and see it that PSP is set up on location, but it's empty except for you and Mark. I start walking towards you guys and sing the song I wrote for you and immediately regret singing it and feel like a tool. Mark comes over and I inexplicitly go for the bro hug when he just offers the handshake. Charlotte never makes it over because she's self-amused by spinning around in a revolving door the whole time. She finally stops, sees me, and says, "You're not a mascot," and begins running around in the revolving door again. That's the dream.
All of this feels very realistic.
And I was like, Jesus,
feels
Bob.
Feels very realistic.
I read it and I was laughing, and then I got a little depressed.
At how realistic it all is.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe we don't. I'll read it. Let's not dwell on that. Anyway, here's one from.
No, I was gonna say, while we're on mascots, can I just, one more memory from Madison was when Bucky was at our show, and I realized the mascot's not talking is stupid. It's really stupid. You can't, like, there's nothing to, like, I was trying to, like, Bucky, so when we were introduced at the live show, the idea was like Bucky was going to lead us out and then we were going to follow Bucky and then go sit down and do the show or whatever. So we're sitting like back away from the crowd. We're just like standing there waiting to be introduced like 5 minutes before it was showtime. And Bucky's just standing there. You're standing there. I'm standing there. We're just kind of like waiting for the show to start. And I realized like Bucky can't talk to us, and I just wanted to be like, so you know, like, how's the wife and kids, and you know, like, how you been, man, like whatever. And I started like talking to him like he was just like annoyed. I'm like, so you from here? Like you go to school? Like what's the, you know? And then he just claps, and then kind of dabs or like claps and like, And he just kept doing that over and over. And then he high-fived me, and like I was like, this guy, this is insanity. This is insanity. He doesn't talk.
Here's what we learned in that moment. First of all, we're standing, the hallway that we had to wait in to be introduced is right next to the men's bathroom. And so the door to and people kept going in and out. So the door to the men's bathroom is basically open the entire time. And I'm basically standing in the men's bathroom waiting to go on, which is already kind of a weird vibe. And then Bucky's standing there, and we were probably standing there for like 5 minutes with Bucky not being able to talk to him. And at a certain point, there's only so much you can do.
There's only so much times Bucky can clap.
Yeah.
And then wave at me. And then clap and dab. And I'm like, my God, dude. Like this.
And you and I kind of just started talking to each other, but then I felt rude. I was like, I don't want to leave Bucky out, but like he can't talk. So it was a really bizarre.
Meanwhile,
5 minutes with the mascot alone is weird.
And meanwhile, I know that like inside that suit, there's like some 20-year-old kid who's just like trying to get hammered that night. You know, so like part of me is like, Bucky, let's cut the bullshit. Like, you want me to go get you a beer? Like, you want me to, you know? And like he just wouldn't stop. He's like committed to the bit of just like clapping and.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, man. Oh, that was pretty funny. Also, shout out to everyone who came to the live show. Thank you guys. That was very nice of you to show up.
I wanted to just like, just hit Bucky with like a very serious topic and see if he just keeps clapping. You know, just like. Bucky, your thoughts on the Delta variant? He's just like, does he turn it off, or does he?
If you're listening to the podcast, you can't see Mark, but he just did a very funny like hand twirl situation that I really enjoyed.
Does he? Would he just like stop and just like get real somber and slouch his shoulders?
He
and
would just
like,
hang his head.
Room?
You know, when Mascot, when the opposing team scores and Mascots just hang their head. Oh,
Mascots are. I feel like that's gonna happen by the end of this tour. I'm going to be firmly anti-mascot. I'm gonna hate like every mascot.
You are not gonna like mascots after
I just
this.
don't like mascots. Yeah,
you're gonna be like anti-mascot. Anyway, all right. Sarah Schweiterman wrote in. And she asked me for recommendations on where to go in Maine and Bar Harbor at the end of September on a vacation with her husband. And Sarah, I'll hit you on the side with that. I don't think we need. Also, I can't really talk about people who are going on vacation until this tour is over because we don't have any weekends. So I'm gonna need to just like.
Oh, come on! We're on vacations.
Our job is a vacation.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to hit you with recommendations on the side because I can't think of any right now. But Sarah writes, we live in Columbus and have a tailgate spot if you need somewhere to stop on your college football tour.
Let's go.
So I think we're gonna need to hit Sarah.
I'm saying this. I'm gonna say this. I'm doing a call out right now. Everyone listening to this, if you're a Buckeye, come to our show. I've done nothing behind the scenes but tell everyone at Fox that like Columbus is going to blow the doors off of every other spot. It is the only football city that matters. We know this. The SEC is like, we get it. You think you're important, you're not. It's Columbus. And Columbus. So, no, I want this to be the best stop. This is very important to me. It's very important to everyone. This is like everyone hates Ohio State fans for a reason, Charlotte. If you're not an Ohio State fan, you hate Ohio State fans. And the reason is that we think we're the best. We're very loud about it. We're very in your face about how much we're the best. I need that this weekend. That's what we want. We want that. The fans are back in the stands. We want.
Also,
I need everyone to come out and be
me.
obnoxious. Yeah,
I
want to be
that.
obnoxious. I want everyone. I expect everybody to be like pointing a finger in Charlotte's face. Like, if you think the Wisconsin band was good, you have a lot to learn, and just like keep talking like very. Or Charlotte's like looking around like, oh my God.
Ohio State, make me hate you with how aggressive you are about how you're the best.
Yes.
Bring the energy. We need that.
That's what we do best, Charlotte. That is Ohio State fandom right there. That's what I want.
If I don't leave Ohio State saying, those are the worst fans ever, and I respect it.
And I love it.
You, Ohio State, have not done your job. So show up to our live show, invite us to your tailgate, roll us out the red carpet, and we're there for it.
I will say this: you've pitched the idea of maybe not playing a heel, but like invoking Michigan or somehow in the show, or like asking people how they feel, and I don't know how well that's going to go with
that was a suggestion given to me, and I was like, oh, maybe, and Mark's like, absolutely.
I was like, this is not a game to these people. That's what I was trying to. I was like, this is not like there is no like, yeah, Michigan's our rival, haha. Like, you know, we makes it fun, you know, because like, you know, Michigan's over there and we're over there, and it's kind of like Ohio State has beat Michigan 1,000 times in a row, Charlotte. Like this is. We have beat them. We beat them all the time. That's all we do. That's what we're known for. We're very famous for it. We beat the hell out of Michigan. And in spite of winning 1,000 times in a row, this fall, on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, every single Ohio State fan wants to beat Michigan 1,000 times in a one, just as bad. Like they act like they've lost 1,000 times in a row. It is unbelievable. I've never seen like we have a very obnoxious fan base. And anyway, you brought up this emailer that's going to be tailgating, and I expect. I don't know. I'm excited for this. I want anyone listening, any of our people listening that are Buckeyes, we got to show out for Charlotte. We got to make this very memorable, for better or worse.
Impress me.
Yes.
Impress me, Columbus. All right, switching gears a little bit. Here's one called an email we got. Raccoon campsite rating. Is it sports?
Ooh.
Okay. So this is a pretty long email, so I'm going to summarize it. Basically, this guy, Nick Yoder, writes in, he went camping. Raccoons were all over their tent. And this is the end of the email. He says, needless to say, I didn't sleep much that night. My body on high alert because all I could think about was my 6-year-old waking up to see a raccoon staring her in the face and swearing off camping forever. Granted, it wasn't as frightening as the time a black bear stole the backpack containing half our food on a week-long Canadian canoe trip. I do want to say this is why I don't camp, just putting that out there. He said, despite, as an overconfident 12-year-old, telling everyone how I really wanted to see a bear on the trip, I spent the rest of that night envisioning the bear ripping through the tiny bit of fabric separating me from the outside world. So the next morning, as we packed up camp at 6 for an early flight, we spotted the raccoons at the next campsite over. They had successfully toppled their trash can and were enjoying the spoils of victory. There was competition. There was physical exertion. Sides were chosen. I wouldn't do it for fun, but I think the raccoons were. So I asked, is raccoon campsite rating sports?
Yes, I think it is. Raccoon, like anytime animals raid campsites, I just always picture like the raccoons, like these are the smartest raccoons ever. You know, I've gone camping a lot. I love the outdoors. I love going to national parks and all that kind of stuff. And every time I see one of those trash cans where I don't know if you're aware of this, but they make those trash cans that are like bear proof, or like to open it, you have to like stick your hand underneath the thing and like push the button to then like pop it up because the bears can't get their hands in there or whatever. I just crack up because it's like the Bears have like I just picture the tug of war for like hundreds of years. It wasn't, but that's how I picture it. That like the park rangers. I mean, it's like literally Yogi Bear. It's like I can't figure out like how do we stop the Bears from. And it's like it's just comical to me that like I just picture like 5 raccoons standing on each other's shoulders with a trench coat, and they're like walking up to a grocery store, and they're like, "We'd like to shop for groceries, please." And they're like, "Yeah, come on in, sir." And then as soon as they get in, they're like, "Go!" And they all just start taking on the.
I have to tell you, Mark, if you want to make me laugh, like tell a joke about animals in a trench coat. I think that is just the funniest image.
Anytime I hear about that, like a campsite getting raided, like, but if you're in it and you're living it, like it is terrifying. Like a bear's out, like if you know that a bear is outside of your campsite, it's terrifying. But I will say, like black bears aren't really threatening. I mean, I guess they can be, but
that feels like tempting fate.
Yeah, I know, but black bears. They say that with grizzly bears are the ones to be terrified of.
Yeah, grizzlies.
Yeah, the brown bears.
You know what Jeff Fisher, when I wrote that story about Jeff Fisher, who camps a lot and hunts, or I don't know if he hunts, but he's like a very outdoorsy guy. He was talking about seeing black bears in Montana. I mean, grizzlies in Montana, because he has a ranch in Montana. And I was like, well, what do you do if you see a grizzly in the wild? And he says, well, you only have to run faster than one person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I was like, that is the most football coach answer to that question.
Yeah. I don't know what I did. I've seen grizzlies in the wild, but they've always been a few hundred yards away where you just kind of like don't be threatening and you just kind of like walk away and don't threat. But I saw a black bear. I was hiking one time and a black bear was like 20 yards away from me, like a decent sized black bear. But black bears, that's why I guess I'm not scared. I'm overly confident with black bears because of that encounter. But they say black bears, black you attack. This is maybe a PSA for people. Black you attack, Charlotte. Brown you lay down.
Oh.
And white is good night because they're gonna kill you if they see you. You're dead, like a polar bear. If you see a polar bear.
Wait, so a grizzly bear you lie down?
Yeah, that's what they say. Like they say black bears just get big and make a lot of noise. Like so, if you see a black bear raiding your campsite, all you have to do is just like open the door and be like, "Hey man, hey, get a job, you bum. Get your own food. Hey." And the black bear be like, sorry, like run away. If it's a grizzly, you're just like, take what you want. I'm gonna sit over here. You go ahead and.
Can I make you it? Can I get you a drink?
You want me to open that trash can for you that you can't stick your hand in?
Allow me, Sir Grizzly. Yeah, let me get that for you.
And if it's a polar bear, no negotiation will just call your loved ones and tell them you're dead, and and you love them, and that's kind of the. That's kind of how
I learned something today, Mark. Thank you.
There you go. So if you see a black, but no, and also like they say, just get big. So like I saw the black bear and I was just like, oh, that's a bear, and I think that's what I said. And then I just like stuck my hiking poles up and I was like, hey bear, and then the bear just ran away.
Hiking poles.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm in my 30s. I'm not trying to. I got joint pain just thinking about hiking at this point.
I got to tell you, there were some back issues after we did jump around in Madison.
No, hiking pole. I'm the guy that when I go on hikes, I'm like way over prepared and I look like a loser. But then I always see people coming down. Like when I'm going up on hikes, you see people come down. They're wearing like flip flops and they have no water and like and they all look miserable. And I'm like, I'm not miserable because I got
like who's laughing now?
I got 4 liters of water strapped to my back and hiking poles and knives and guns and everything. Like I'm going.
Yosemite Sam over here. Call back.
I'm hiking through a cornfield in Indiana.
And it's the Field of Dreams game at MLB on Fox. Oh man. Well, I think that about does it for today. Send us emails. Come to the show if you're in Columbus. If you're not, you can stream it. It's on all the CFBN Fox platforms. It feels good to be back on a podcast with the people. Check in. This is me trying to land the plane. We realized this weekend that I don't know how to end a video or a podcast, so I'm gonna stop talking now, and then Mark's gonna end the podcast.
I'll bring it home with this. Columbus, we got a show out. The big game, big opportunity. I'm very excited to come home. There's something about that too, Charlotte. That like I lived in Columbus 13 years, and it's not that I took Ohio State football for granted, but also I took it for granted. And by the time I was done living there. If someone had tickets to the football game, I'd be like, I don't know who they playing, what time, I don't know, we'll see, whatever. And now being away and not having fans for last year, and and just everything that's led to this moment in time. This is the most anticipated Ohio State football game I've ever been to in my life, and it's not because I think the game's going to be good. It's not. This game's going to be on Fox. My bosses are not going to be happy with me saying this because they want people to tune in and watch on Fox. Folks, I'm here to tell you this is not going to be a good football game. We are going to win by 1,000. It will not be close. It's a blowout. It's a blowout. But in spite of that, I have never been more excited because of all the factors going on in the world and then my own personal deal of like moving across the country and all that. And I get to go home and I get to get paid to do it and be with you and all the fans and everything else. We got to show out. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see everybody in Columbus. Those of you who aren't in Columbus, as Charlotte said, watch. Send us emails. We apologize for the show. We're going to figure it out as we go, as you said, with trying to figure out how to still pump out podcasts while we're on the road. But we'll figure it out, and it'll be fun. And this will be a great season. So that's it. We will see you guys next week. Watch us on Friday. Stream the show. Go Buckeyes.